Once again, we celebrate another successful year ending, a year of transformative impact with a reinforced determination to ensure improvement of the quality of tax administration in respective states. While striving to promote efficient and effective tax administration in member states, we tirelessly engage stakeholders and partners in a series of activities all year long. Join us as we reflect on our key activities and milestones that are shaping a stronger, more inclusive tax ecosystem for our region. On 13th September 2024, Mr. Jules Tapsoba was appointed the new Executive Secretary, WATAF. His appointment was formally approved during the 20th General Assembly of WATAF, which took place on the 12th of September 2024 in Bissau, Guinea-Bissau. He took over from Mr. Babatunde Oladapo, who has diligently served as Executive Secretary since WATAF's inception. On 25th September 2024, we celebrate the 100% incorporation of our submission regarding capacity building and the adoption of the draft terms of reference for a UN Framework Convention on International Tax Cooperation. Our submission in part read: we recommend that participating member countries allocate financial resources to facilitate their participation in the negotiation process and guarantee objective contributions during negotiations. Same day, we released the second quarter edition of Tax Focused West Africa, WATAF's quarterly newsletter. WATAF, represented by Mr. Nyantafe Wudali Datseve, participated at the regional workshop on developing a template for tax transition report, organized by the Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS on the 2nd to 4th of October 2024. On 9th to 10th October 2024, we organized a 2-day virtual training workshop for tax officials and other relevant stakeholders in West Africa on revenue mobilization for development, arrears recovery, and debt management. WATAF was in active participation at the virtual briefing on Amount A of Pillar 1 versus Digital Service Taxes, country-level revenue estimates for WATAF, ATAF, and SAP-Center member states, based on the research publication of the three organizations. This held on 29 October 2024. The research publication, a toss-up comparing tax revenues from the Amount A and Digital Service Tax regime for developing countries, can be found on our website. At the same period, WATAF participated at a 1-day stakeholder engagement organized by the African Center for Tax and Governance (ACTG) in collaboration with the Local Government Revenue Initiative (LOGRI) and the International Center for Tax and Development (ICTD) in Abuja, Nigeria, at a dissemination event on property tax project in Ekiti, Kaduna, and Niger states. As WATAF entered a new era of leadership, WATAF Chairman Ms. Talatu Elaine, who is also Burkina Faso's Director General of Taxes, accompanied by newly appointed Executive Secretary Mr. Jules Tapsoba, initiated a regional tour between November 4th and 8th, 2024. They visited Lome, Togo, and Abuja, Nigeria. This marked a strengthened commitment to regional collaboration and laid new foundations for WATAF's strategic mandate. On November 15, 2024, Dr. Samponde Jules Tapsoba, Deputy Chief Economist and Director of Data Management and Model Development at African Export-Import Bank, Afrexi Bank, alongside Mr. Falana Gbenga, a renowned fiscal expert and consultant, paid a courtesy visit to the Executive Secretary WATAF, Mr. Jules Tapsoba. The visit explored possible areas for cooperation between WATAF and Afrexim Bank. On 25th November 2024, in a move to deepen partnership within the region, the Director General of Senegal Tax Administration, Mr. Abdoulaye Diangne, welcomed the delegation from the West African Tax Administration Forum. Following that, the WATAF Compliance Risk Management Network met on the 27th of November 2024. On 28th November 2024, WATAF Tax Auditors Network held a virtual workshop for representatives of member countries. In line with its mandate to enhance domestic revenue mobilization across West Africa, the West African Tax Administration Forum carried out a technical assistance mission for the tax administration of Guinea-Bissau on the 29th of November 2024. The mission focused on assessing the income tax administrative system and exploring the potentiality of establishing specialized tax units for low, medium, and high income taxpayers. From the 2nd to 6th December 2024, WATAF actively participated at the 2024 WATAF annual meetings, which attracted over 582 officials from ministries of finance and African tax administrations of 41 member states, members of parliament, development partners, other key partners, individual tax policy experts, and private sector players. During the same period, members of the West African Tax Administration Forum gathered for a side meeting. The ultimate goal of this meeting was to foster a united front for the West African region, enabling WATAF members to speak with one voice on tax administration matters. WATAF played a pivotal role in the NTO-IBFD online training on beneficial ownership, which climaxed on 3rd December 2024. Representing the network of tax organizations, Mr. Tapsoba highlighted the overwhelming positive feedback received from participants, underscoring the program's success and value to the attendees. Over the same period, we released the third quarter of our newsletter, Tax Focus West Africa. The issue covered WATAF's activities, including our participation in the international tax forums and ongoing research initiatives from July to September 2024. After that, on the 10th December 2024, we published our 2023 annual report. From December 16th to 19th, 2024, WATAF participated in the regional meeting organized by ECOWAS that took place in Lagos, Nigeria. The meeting focused on evaluating the progress of member countries in publishing and implementing the regional directives and supplementary acts. Recognizing the critical role of training in the process of modern VAT implementation, we organized a one-week training program for Guinea-Bissau's Directorate General of Contributions and Taxes from 13th to 17th January 2025, sponsored by the Open Society Foundation. From January 20th to 24th, 2025, WATAF, in partnership with the Directorate General of Contributions and Taxes of Guinea-Bissau and funded by the Open Society Foundation, hosted a 5-day training on urban property tax administration in Bissau, Guinea-Bissau. The workshop focused on enhancing the administration's ability to implement efficient taxpayer segmentation strategies, a crucial step in enhancing urban revenue mobilization and public service delivery. Going further, WATAF, in collaboration with the South Center Geneva, hosted a 2-day webinar on January 28 to 29, 2025, themed Strengthening Tax Administration Through International Cooperation. The exclusive event was tailored to policymakers to enhance their understanding of international tax reforms and their implications for developing economies. From 3rd to 7th February 2025, the WATAF Secretariat embarked on her 2025 retreat themed United for Success, Building Bridges, Breaking Barriers. At the heart of global tax discussions, WATAF proudly participated at the 3rd Network of Tax Organizations NTO conference, which held from 18th to 20th February 2025. The NTO brought together officials from tax authorities, researchers, civil society organizations, private sector stakeholders, and experts from international organizations. Hosted by SEAT, the year's flagship event of the Global Network explored key challenges in crypto assets, e-commerce, and digital service taxation, providing valuable insight into the evolving digital tax landscape. On the 26th to 27th February 2025, WATAF's Executive Secretary Mr. Jules Tapsoba proudly participated at the 11th Annual International Tax Conference in Accra, Ghana, sharing insight on leveraging data analytics for revenue mobilization. Experts tackled key tax challenges from digital economy taxation to combating illicit financial flows. On 10th March 2025, we released the 4th quarter 2024 edition of our newsletter, Tax Focus Africa. Following that, On March 18 to 19, 2025, WATAF convened a conference on enhancing communication efficiency in tax administrations for country correspondents and heads of communication departments of member states. The event sought to advance strategic communication frameworks that fostered institutional development, transparency, and operational effectiveness within tax administrations across West Africa. During the same period, we hosted a memorable gala dinner to bid farewell to our immediate past Executive Secretary Babatunde Oladapo. The elegant event brought together tax administrators, dignitaries, partners, stakeholders, and well-wishers from across the region, physically and virtually, to celebrate the remarkable leadership and contributions of the outgoing Executive Secretary. On 31st March, our own Tochukwu Sandra Oyemata, Communications and Liaison Manager, moderated a webinar on Women Grassroots Organization as Accountability Stakeholders, organized by Addis Tax Initiatives and International Budget Partnership. WATAF was honored to be in attendance at the Taxpayers Award ceremony in the Gambia on 12th April 2025. It was a prestigious occasion celebrating compliance and commitment to national development. We remain committed to supporting member countries in strengthening domestic resource mobilization and building a culture of voluntary tax compliance. At the International Conference on Digital Economic Taxation, which held in Senegal from 15th to 16th April 2025, WATAF was honored to be in attendance. Around the same time, WATAF, represented by Yantafe Wolali Dotsevi, participated in a two-day workshop in Abuja, Nigeria, examining the nation's tax expenditure management. The discussions identified key challenges including deficient data management and conflicting legal frameworks. The WATAF Compliance Risk Management Network met on April 29th virtually. The meeting focused on emerging tax risks from global regulations and digitalization, featuring strategic discussions to boost proactive risk management and governance. The Executive Secretary WATAF, Mr. Jules Tapsoba, represented the forum at the high-level 4th Subcommittee meeting on tax and illicit financial flows, organized under the African Union Specialized Technical Committee on Finance and Economic Integration, held on the 5th to 9th May 2025 at Lusaka, Zambia. The event convened tax leaders, policymakers, continental institutions to shape Africa's fiscal future through improved domestic resource mobilization and coordinated action against illicit financial flows. On 12th to 16th May 2025, WATAF proudly participated in the CITN 27th Annual Tax Conference in Abuja. The Executive Secretary, Mr. Jules Tapsoba, along with the Research Manager, Yantafe Wulali Dosevi, and the Training and Capacity Development Manager, Dan Asabe Ozayashi, represented the forum at the high-level gathering. On May 28, 2025, WATAF engaged the ECOWAS parliamentarians during the 2025 First Ordinary Session on the theme Leveraging the AFCFTA, Legislative Strategies for Boosting Intra-African Trade and Revenue. The interactive session brought together members of key committees on trade, customs, and free movement, macroeconomic policy, finance and budget, and industry to explore how legislative action can drive trade facilitation and revenue growth across West Africa. Wapino Ndule, the Institutional Development and Corporate Affairs Manager WATAF, represented us at the African Development Bank Group Annual Meetings 2025. The event held from 26th to 30th May in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, under the theme Making Africa's Capital Work Better for Africa's Development. From 28th to 30th May 2025, WATAF was honored to be part of the Spotlight session marking 10 years of the Africa Tax Symposium, a remarkable platform that has become central to shaping Africa's tax policy and administration discourse. A research publication between WATAF and IBFD was also launched during the event. The publication, Tax Treaty Policy and Practice in West Africa, can be found on our website. At the 30th Annual CREDAF Conference in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo, which held on June 17th to 20th, 2025, representing WATAF was Mr. Yantafe Wolali Dotsevi, Research Manager at the WATAF Secretariat. He actively contributed to sessions on international taxation, gender equity in tax administration, and extractive sector transparency, reinforcing WATAF's commitment to regional and global cooperation. From 23rd to 25th June 2025, WATAF, represented by Dan Asabe Ozayashi, was in Benin to participate in a 3-day regional workshop to broaden the tax base in West Africa, hosted by WATAF to address tax incentives, informal economic taxation, high net worth individual compliance. WATAF participated in the 17th Africa Initiative meeting held from 1st to 2nd July 2025 at the Eden Blue Hotel, Seychelles. The delegation was led by Executive Secretary Mr. Jules Tapsoba, who moderated a key session on tax transparency in the digital economy and made valuable contributions throughout the program. WATAF, represented by Wapino Ndule, was at the Federal Inland Revenue Service National Conference on Illicit Financial Flows, which held from 22nd to 23rd July 2025 in Abuja, Nigeria. On the 31st of July 2025, WATAF hosted a webinar on gender perspective in tax policy, addressing inequality through fiscal measures, providing a platform for policymakers, tax experts, researchers, and civil society to discuss reducing gender disparities and promoting inclusive development through taxation. On the 4th to 8th August 2025, the West African Tax Administration Forum, with the strategic support of the World Bank and the DJI Guinea, successfully hosted a landmark regional workshop on strengthening tax audit capacity and exchange of information in the extractive sector in West Africa. This held in Conakry, Republic of Guinea. We would not have achieved these feats without the support of our esteemed partners, the Economic Community of West African States, also known as ECOWAS, United Nations Development Programme, South Center, African Union, World Bank, African Tax Administration Forum, Local Government Revenue Initiative, Action Aid, Britacom, GIZ, Ford Foundation, International Bureau of Fiscal Documentation, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, Open Society Foundation, Oxfam, Tax Inspectors Without Borders, the Network of Tax Organizations, West African Union of Tax Institutes. Our profound appreciation goes out to you all, and we look forward to greater achievements in the coming years as our partnership continues to wax stronger. The West African Tax Administration Forum will continue to strive to promote efficient and effective tax administration in member states. WATAF, engaging for development.